My girlfriend didn't want to open her gift, so I opened it for her. My girlfriend recently had a birthday. We had a small get-together at our apartment, but my girlfriend feels uncomfortable opening gifts in front of people because of the pressure, and all of her friends know that. She opened them privately that evening. By the way, this comes from a throwaway account on the r/OKStorytime subreddit, so submit your stories there. Well, 2 days later, my parents' gift arrived. My parents are on the wealthy side and brought her a designer handbag she had been openly admiring the last time we visited. They had purchased the bag that weekend and had been saving it for her birthday. She responded a thank you before she opened it and would let them know when she did. The box sat at our dresser for about 2 days before my parents sent a text wondering if she had opened it yet. I asked her when she would open the gift, and she just shrugged and said, soon. I was also really excited to see her open this gift. I knew that it would be something that she really wanted. A few more days passed. My parents checked in again about whether she had opened the gift. At this point, my girlfriend came to me and asked if I could tell my parents to back off, as she was feeling too much pressure around opening the gift, and it was making her not want to open it. Really quick pausing here. How long is too long to not open a gift?
Like a couple minutes.
Aren't you curious to what is inside? I don't get that.
I don't get this at all.
I don't understand myself. I could see how someone would be uncomfortable, maybe if it's a spectacle or whatever, in front of other people. But after, and he's like, hey, this is something I know you really want. You'd be like, oh, I want to receive the thing.
Also, honestly, red flag. If you feel too much pressure to open up a present within a couple day time period when you are alone, I don't know if you can deal with the pressures of life together. Honestly, I feel like not a resilient person.
I'll stand with you on that.
Yeah, maybe that is too judgmental. But then again,
could be.
That is a little bit of this show.
That is what we do for a living.
I admit that I have never really understood this, and I told her that I didn't get why she wouldn't open it. My parents weren't there, and all it would require is a thank you text at the very least to acknowledge it. To me, it was the exact same as our friends leaving the party before opening her gifts. She got really frustrated with me and said, "You just don't get how uncomfortable it makes me."
Nice emphasis.
Do you, like, if you order a package on Amazon, do you just not open any of them? Like, Jeff, you just don't understand.
I think that also the main thing here, in all seriousness, is that, like, she could have said at least thank you. I don't know if there's something going on.
She did say thank you
surface.
when she received the package and said, I will update you when I've opened it.
Then I think it's like,
just lie and just say, I love the thing.
Yeah. It was so great. It was what I wanted. I don't know.
Yeah. Actually, no, I don't think you should lie. But about a week after the gift arrived, my parents texted me outside of our group chat and asked if she liked the bag. I told them she still had not opened the gift. A week later,
let her go. Let her go.
Would you break up, Anthony?
I mean, like, where does that come from?
Like what deep-seated insecurity is that?
Yeah, like, you're only making it like you're just not gonna ever open the gift.
I guess so.
It feels like there's something big that like we're not clued in on here, or OP for that matter.
Yeah. I think therapy.
I
told them she still had not opened the gift. They asked me if they made her uncomfortable, which I guess the answer would be yes, by just giving her a gift. If they have overstepped in any way or something. They've gotten her gifts before that have never gone over like this. I truly did not understand why she was not opening it. And at this point, I thought it was borderline rude to not open it and acknowledge the gift. So she went out with her friends yesterday evening, and I opened the box for her, displayed the bag on the dresser so the pressure of opening it was removed, and we could just move on. My man is a hero. Gosh dang hero. Taking a bullet.
I am going to throw a very quick absolute Hail Mary conspiracy theory.
Oh, please do.
She's sleeping with his father And she is like, I need to remove myself from any communication or connection. There, I said it. We'll see if it happens. It's a Hail Mary.
A thick, juicy update. So there is enough words in this to maybe have that be true. I really thought I was doing her a favor and ending this awkward situation. Well, when she got home and saw it, she was pissed. She said she had guessed it was the bag she had wanted and felt awkward knowing it was an expensive gift, and she did not feel comfortable opening it up yet. I tried to explain that she was being a bit rude putting it off, but she said it was more rude of me to open it for her. We went to bed shortly after, and she was very short with me in the morning. The bag is still sitting on the dresser where I left it. So, am I the a-hole? We have some relevant comments with some responses from OP, and we have an update. But what do we think? Is OP the a-hole?
No.
I'm just going to hop in right here. She thinks her feeling uncomfortable is more important than him feeling uncomfortable with his family. And the embarrassment that he's going through having to tell his parents that she still hasn't opened this gift.
Yeah.
I think so too.
In a relationship, you kind of have to like both come to the table, and it could be like, oh, hey, like, please explain more. What was making you comfortable? Maybe I can hear or learn something I didn't know. And she's like, hey, you know, maybe that was rude of me to, you know, your parents got me this very expensive gift. Instead of like putting it off, it's like maybe at least like saying thank you. I don't know, like it's anything.
Yeah, and it's like, why is she uncomfortable? Does she feel like she's indebted because of this expensive gift to the parents or something?
She is sleeping with his father.
That's
we
true.
do know that.
We do know that. If there's one thing we know, if we really read between the lines.
Yeah. Don't confuse our viewers.
Too late. John's not confusing them. He's enlightening them.
That's right.
Yeah, I don't know. I think what you said, Anthony, really makes sense too. I think, John, I feel like there's this idea of not really coming to the table at all in the relationship. It doesn't seem like she's listening to how he's feeling. So
nope.
Let's go into the relevant comments.
Let's do it.
So, commenter says, not the a-hole. If my girlfriend wouldn't open my parents' gift, I would tell her that I will tell my parents to never gift anything to her if it makes her so uncomfortable that it affects my relationship, and she doesn't deserve anything from them because she doesn't appreciate it. I kind of agree with that. Then we'll return the gift to my parents or to store it if the parents don't need it and tell them big thanks for trying. I would also require an explanation for what exactly is happening in my girlfriend's mind and why she felt anxious, so in the future I could protect her mind.
Totally.
Or if she can't explain it and keeps acting like an ungrateful brat in other instances, then just drop her. I love how it's like, we could be super kind to her and understand her inner mind, or we could just dump her.
Oh, she's a little brat.
Just dump her.
Nah.
And not in the cool way, not in the way the internet's using, like she brat.
Yeah, not the cool
Not
brat.
the cool brat.
The whack brat.
The whack brat. I hate people who create problems out of nothing, and this is a problem sucked out of her finger. It's very hard to live with such people as they will create drama from pretty much everything, which is kind of what we were saying in the beginning. Seems like a red flag kind of human. OP responds, dude, way too much. She's not ungrateful, and she's not a brat. And then commenter says, I put money down that your girlfriend has some kind of untreated OCD. And OP responds, you're not the first person to have said this. A few of our mutual friends have commented on some of her tendencies common with OCD. Could you elaborate? Don't think either of us would have associated it with our perception of OCD. And commenter responded, has your relationship been good recently? Or any fights or perceived slights? I'm wondering if maybe she felt it was wrong to accept a gift from them because of something related to your relationship. Small things like this often go a bit deeper than you would expect. Like maybe doing your dad. OP responds, downvoted. A few comments have suggested this, but with full sincerity, our relationship is great. We are very in love. Clearly, I blundered here, but I don't think she was avoiding opening it because of a problem with our relationship. There is a big, fat, juicy update the next day. But John, what do you like? Do you agree with what OP's saying here is like she was avoiding, like he's like, oh no, there's not a problem with our relationship.
Yeah, I think, look, maybe, I think it is possible it's not a problem with the relationship, but I don't know what that commenter's relationship with OCD or what they know is, but is there potentially something here that perhaps she is even unaware of? And like, I feel like OP going, that one commenter put it perfectly. I want to understand to know how to protect you in the future.
Yeah.
I think that is like, hey, like, please, I honestly don't understand yet. Please help me understand it. Maybe there's something deeper and maybe some way I can help more to avoid this in the future.
But I think the idea that there like isn't anything wrong is I think that's gonna make more problems like this coming out.
Yeah,
I think you got to understand, like you said, you got to understand the mind.
Yeah, I think it's like, hey, fair enough to not like try to pin the issue on any one person, but it's like, hey, there seems to be an issue here.
Yeah,
and
let's try to solve it.
That's deeper than the surface.
I think it's just a form of procrastination. It's like having to do with the reactions thing at the birthday party. She doesn't want to feel pressure to react a certain way to somebody giving her a gift.
Yeah.
And I think she's sort of fearing what reaction she'll have to give for this gift. And so she's just kind of putting it off.
Maybe because the gift is so big, she has to, like, she's feeling like, oh, I have to give a big reaction. And like, that's so much pressure to give the reaction I feel is warranted of such an expensive gift.
But I do think that's something that just needs to be worked on. And the reaction of, I can't believe you opened the gift isn't very justified. Because like from his perspective, she's never going to open the gift.
Yeah.
At this rate, it's been a week.
Yeah.
And so what else are you going to do?
It's that effect of like, you'll go out of your apartment down the street to the pizza shop to get a slice of pizza, but just bringing your recycling, outside your door is like, oh, it's too much work. There's like a mental thing there where you kind of like
mental
build it
block
up bigger in our heads. I could totally see that.
Yeah.
But there is a update. Also really quick with what Reddit says. Reddit says everyone's the a-hole here. Everyone sucks here. So,
CSH.
Update. I wasn't planning on updating, but there were some things in the comments I wanted to address. Most importantly, my girlfriend and I are still together, which is, I guess, good.
Hey, we made it 24 hours.
Not once.
Congratulations.
Not once did it cross my mind she was avoiding the gift because she wanted to break up with me. We've been together for 3 years and are in a loving relationship. Dang. Reddit was like, dude, she's going to break up with you, which is honestly something I didn't even think about, and it kind of makes sense.
Wow.
What makes sense, to break up with her?
No, like, all right, if she was planning on breaking up with him and she got a super expensive gift from the parents, then it would be like, I don't want to open this up because I'm going to break up with you in a bit. Which totally, I didn't
totally
even
make sense.
think about that.
Damn, Reddit got us on that one.
Reddit got us.
Reddit won us 0.
Let's take a quick pause on this story right here. Gotta tell you something.
Okay.
I've been reading so many stories.
We were calculating it, actually. Yeah.
72,800. No, 80.
8,600 minutes.
I'm starting to feel the effects.
Like what?
My lips are cracking.
Oh, no.
Because I have to open my mouth every day.
Oh, God.
My eyes are drying up.
I would cry for you, but I can't.
I have no tears left to cry.
Is there anything we can do to possibly help heal your ailments?
There's one.
What is it?
ZocDoc.
ZocDoc! ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality in-network doctors and choose the right one for your needs and click instantly to book an appointment.
We're talking about in-network appointments with more than 100,000 healthcare providers across every specialty. From mental health to dental health, eye care to skin care, and much more.
You can filter your doctors who take your insurance, who are located nearby, who are a good fit for any medical need that you might have, and who are highly rated by verified patients.
You can also see their actual appointment openings, choose a time that works for you, and click to instantly book a visit.
Plus, ZocDoc appointments happen fast! Lickety-split. Typically within just 24 to 72 hours of booking, you can even score some same-day appointments. It's pretty great, right?
It's pretty amazing.
Listen, Sophia, I use ZocDoc. We use ZocDoc. You should freaking use it too, guys. Use ZocDoc.
So stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/OKOP to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today.
That's ZocDoc.com/OKOP, ZocDoc.com/OKOP. Let's get back into the show.
I effed up in this situation, but we'll get through it. I was raised in a polite, always say thank you, send a thank you card kind of way, which it seems other people in the comments can relate to, but my parents were in no way bombarding us with texts or harassing her over this gift. We have a group chat together, and they just sent a follow-up text every other day or so, just wondering if she had opened it. They are definitely nosy Midwestern parents, but we both know they were not coming from a place of negativity or blame or in any way trying to pressure her into something. They were genuinely excited to have been able to provide this gift for her. They have a great relationship. Yes, my girlfriend has expressed discomfort around opening gifts before, but not in a way that indicated she doesn't like receiving them. She told me she just hates the pressure of reacting a certain way in front of people and also thinks it can be awkward for other gift givers. Usually, if someone gifts her something, she opens it as soon as she is in private. On her birthday, I left her a gift by the bed and went to get breakfast. When I came back, she had opened it and was happy with it. That's why I was so confused as to why she has not opened this gift. As effed up as it sounds, I really did think I was helping by opening the gift. Comments have helped me realize where I went wrong, but I never had the intention of manipulating her or coercing her or controlling her. Dang, Reddit. I admit that I let my own desire to see her joy at the gift overshadow the true intention. When we returned home from work yesterday, we sat down together to work it all out. Good communication. Starting with me apologizing for ruining her gift. She told me she had called my parents on her lunch break and thanked them. She told me she had a feeling they'd gotten her the bag after she'd been talking about it and was both excited and anxious about the cost. She said by the time the package arrived, she had gotten her hopes up and felt guilty of potential disappointment if she opened it and it wasn't the bag, and that her anxiety around it continued to build up as it sat there. Wow, that is an interesting case of anxiety where it's like, I want this to be what it is, and it is what it is, but if it's not what it is, I'm going to be sad that it's not what it is.
Schrodinger's bag.
I was literally going to say that, yeah. She apologized to me for not being able to communicate that clearly beforehand. I do understand this, and I know that I jumped the gun a bit. We also talked a bit about neurodivergence, and I appreciate everyone who posted about their experience with anxiety, autism, OCD. It's not the first time she has been told she has autistic or OCD tendencies.
Damn.
Though at the moment, she is unsure if she wants to move forward with getting a diagnosis. And you should also move forward with joining us on the live every weekday, 3 p.m. PST.
That's
Come
right.
on over. But that is where it ends.
Wow. Okay. Kind of. Is this resolved?
This feels on the on the way to getting resolved.
it's
I think what
settling.
we've discovered, and maybe what OP knows, is probably a lot of anxiety that she's dealing with, and potentially OCD, or it seems like more OCD than autistic tendencies, but
Yeah.
definitely maybe at least anxiety, and maybe now she can go to a bit of therapy as Chris Tinfoil Hat. She needs quite a bit of therapy.
It seemed like it was possibly a little sprinkling of like everything we said. It's like the anxiety and pressure of like of the gift and the procrastination. Maybe there's some neurodivergent things going on.
Yeah.
Okay.
But at least they got to a place where they were communicating, which
That
I
part.
am hyped about.
Yes.
Which I'm hyped about.
It seems like they have communicated, and it's like maybe she might investigate further. So like the communication is like continuing.
Yeah. And Cassie F says the only thing that would make the update better would have been telling us she would go to therapy. That would be good.
True. The commitment.
The commitment. That's what we need. We need commitment from these people.
Commitment, like opening a bag.
Like opening a bag. Dude, imagine
Or a box.
opening a bag. Like whenever I get an Amazon package, I'm just so excited.
Oh, immediately.
Feels like Christmas.
I went clothes shopping this weekend, as we just talked about previously. Immediately changed it to the clothes.
Yeah.
There's no waiting.
I don't want to wait.
I got a toy. I want to play with it now.
Exactly. Dude,
My toy and I want it now.
When it was Christmas, I would go down like every couple hours to check if the presents were there. And then I would just kind of like I would, before my parents woke up, I would just shake all of them to see what was inside.
It's too good.
Yeah, but I couldn't open. I didn't want to open it, but I want to shake them. I want to get a little knowledge of what's inside, you know. But yeah, that is where that story ends. But we got another story for you.
Oh, yeah, we do. We got another story. Let's see how low it goes. My boyfriend made fun of my music taste, so I called him out in front of his friends. How so? Let's find out. A little background. We've been going out since high school, and we have a very jokey relationship. Like your relationship is a joke, or what?
Dang.
Poking fun for the most part isn't out of the question, though if one of us says we aren't comfortable with one of the jokes, then the other makes an effort not to make it again for the most part. More context coming. Speaking of context, this comes from May Jailer in Bel Air from the r/OKStorytime subreddit. Drop your stories there. So I've been a bit of an obsessive fan of the music artist since I was 14.
No free sponsors.
Or for no sponsors, Rana Del Rey. That's a dope name. I have more than one tattoo inspired by this artist and her aesthetic. Wow. Do we have more people with tattoos of us than Lana Del Rey?
We only have one OKOP
to
tattoo.
To
our knowledge.
There could be more.
If anyone has one, put it in the tattoo chat in the hobbies section of our Discord.
Yes, hop in the Discord. Sound off over there. Or get a new tattoo and make us happy.
Yeah.
So I have seen her in concert multiple times. I own more merch than I can say and have run several different fan accounts devoting to her during this time. I understand this is weird. I try not to bring it up in everyday conversation because I'm aware it is weird. Most people who know me in passing do not know this about me, and only my best friend and boyfriend know about my fan accounts. I don't think that's too weird, right?
Fan accounts? Oh, unless it's
Just
like
like
erotic fanfic or something.
Yeah, but if you're like a big, like, oh, like I'm a big fan.
Yeah, I think that's okay.
I think that's okay.
It's okay.
I am not the person who is annoying in large groups about it anymore. There was a learning curve when I was in high school, but losing friends is a great motivator to fix yourself.
Damn, she talked about Lana Del Rey so much that she lost friends over it?
Yeah.
Whoa, that's
tough.
Dedication.
That is, yeah.
That's dedication.
My boyfriend has on and off made jokes about that since we got together. Admittedly, whenever I bring it up that it makes me feel insecure and unsafe expressing myself around him, he stops for a while. But he always starts up again, and it just bothers me. I can't fully explain it, but it makes me feel like the things that I like are somehow inherently bad, and that he wants me to stop having this interest because he doesn't see value in it.
Whoa. That is a pretty deep analysis of it, and there's a potential for it to be right.
Oh.
You mean people shouldn't be obsessed with Lana Del Rey?
I mean that she potentially could be right that her boyfriend might think that.
That being a fan of Lana Del Rey is too much?
Yeah, it might be. I think there's like this old Russian saying, or it's like there's a joke in every joke, and it could be that he's razzing on her so much because he really doesn't think it is a valuable interest to have, and might think it's a little weird.
There's a joke in every joke?
Yeah, where it's like basically like within, if you're making a joke about something, there's a little bit of truth in there.
So why isn't it there's a truth in every joke?
Because if you say a joke in every joke, it's almost like it's like two negatives equal a positive. So it's like you're joking about part of the joke, which means part of it is truth.
I never thought that Rana Del Rey fan groups could ever have gotten this deep. But here we are. This is OK Story Time, ladies and gentlemen. So now he's never said that explicitly, that he doesn't see value in it, but that's how he makes me feel. An example, I had been clearing the dishes and listening to her music when he came into the kitchen and started singing along in the most high-pitched, off-key falsetto voice I have ever heard, before busting up and turning it off and saying something like, "I don't see why you listen to this crap."
I think he might really not like the interest.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. That would be like John. That would be like me listening to Kendrick and just being like,
yeah. My name is Kendrick. My name is Kendrick. Yeah.
How do you feel?
Angry. I would say he's not like us.
Who's Kendrick?
Get him.
Just kidding. I will spare you today. So now this was one of the times that I told him he had hurt my feelings. He apologized, explained that he had only meant it as a lighthearted joke and that he didn't care what kind of music I listened to. I don't really get mad over this. It more just hurts my feelings. I have thoughts on this that are coming up soon, so stay tuned. Context out of the way, we were out at dinner with his friends and their girlfriends, and I had left to go to the bathroom and come back to him showing them a video on his phone. And the audio was familiar right away. It was a performance from over a decade ago that was panned pretty universally.
Banned?
Yeah. I'm guessing that's like kind of hated universally. I don't know. They were all laughing and he made a lot of jokes until he noticed that I had gone quiet. I actually think I know what they're talking about. There was an SNL performance, I think, of Lana Del Rey like years ago where her singing was like completely off key or something.
Oh, really?
I think so. I think I'm remembering that. I'm a big Lana Del Rey fan over here. So till he noticed I had gone quiet and said to lighten up. I tried to smile, but he wouldn't drop it and said, I don't like your music either, but I would never make fun of you for it. You know that. It was a very quiet meal and ride home, and he is now barely talking to me. Two of the girlfriends there said I made everything awkward and that I was being unfair because we always made jokes with each other. Am I the a-hole? There's relevant comments. There is a fat, juicy update 2 months later. 2 months later, but we have to stop here real quick. First off, is OP the a-hole?
For saying that?
Yes.
It seems like she reached a little bit of a breaking point, maybe.
Yeah.
But generally, I don't think it is. And I understand she reached a breaking point, but generally the best way to communicate is not in like a public setting out of like a case of anger.
Yeah.
I think if you feel transgressed, the ideal situation is to talk about it privately.
Yeah.
There's there was this quote that I heard recently from, I think it was from the show that we went to, the red carpet that wasn't a red carpet.
Right.
But he was like praise in public, discipline in private.
Right.
And I kind of mess with that.
Kind of a bar.
Kind of
Yeah.
a bar.
Yeah. I think that everyone's a little bit the a-hole here because of him constantly ragging her and then her kind of like snapping back that hard, which again, I think she reached a breaking point, but it's like, okay, better do that in private. I have a question for you two. I feel like, and there's got to be some sort of golden rule or something with this. I feel like in every relationship, if it's, you get deep enough, you have years in the game of a relationship, each side will have something where they don't fully understand. Like they're like, okay, maybe I don't think it's that big of a deal, but because I love you and I respect you and I want you to feel valued and have your feelings validated, I am absolutely 1,000% on board with, in this case, not making fun of Lana Del Rey, Yeah. Maybe I don't fully get it, and maybe OP doesn't fully get it, but like he should still respect his girlfriend's feelings.
And also, like, she is such a big fan.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's
part
kind
of her identity.
Yeah, exactly. I was about to say that. It's like a core part of her identity, and I think because it's a core part of her identity, it hurts a lot more when he makes fun of it. And I don't know if he is realizing how much that artist means to her. And I think that might be a blind spot on his part.
Yeah, I don't think he's behaving necessarily well. I don't think you should make fun of anything that your partner likes in a group setting.
Yeah.
Like at the expense of your partner.
Exactly.
It's not like, it's so funny that she has this obsession with Bana Lel Day. Like, isn't that so funny? Like, but it's not that. It's like she's dumb for thinking that way.
Yeah,
kind of.
Because imagine if any of our partners was like crapping on our biggest musical influences, that would rub me the wrong way.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah, especially because I feel like music often is so much more than just like, oh, I like this song. It's like this artist helped me get through a time in my life, or this artist inspired me to in some ways become who I am today. I think there's like a lot of people that feel like that. I'm sure you feel like that
100%.
about some of your artists.
Yeah.
I feel like I just don't think the boyfriend understands that, and definitely a little bit of the a-hole. I don't think OP is the a-hole, but I do think maybe she handled it in a way that wasn't the most elegant solution. So like tinge of a-hole, but like I think justified a-hole.
I think justified in that like he's apparently done this before, and maybe in her mind the only way to get him to stop is to sort of expose it at the source when it's happening, to sort of make him feel that sort of
You have to drop the nuke.
Because they mentioned that like I tell him, and then 2 months later he does it again.
Yeah.
And so if that just keeps happening, then
we have seen that before.
Yeah.
But there's some relevant comments that might have some relevant context. Virtual Equivalent 27 says, not the a-hole. Isn't it interesting how someone says or does something hurtful, and once the other person reacts badly, they start going on about how it was just a joke and you're a bore for not getting it. Jokes are supposed to be funny. You told them several. Yeah, so if you're gonna torture someone, at least make it witty. You told him several times you are not comfortable with him poking at your favorite artist, which is understandable. He promises he won't do it anymore, and then he breaks his promise time and time again. He knows how it bothers you, and he just doesn't care. And the fact that you have fan accounts and tattoos inspired by your favorite artist doesn't justify him disrespecting your wishes. And Boeing 36780 says, I read these and do not understand why the OP is with their partner. It's so obviously grossly disrespectful. I wonder how bad her self-esteem must be to put up with this for even a second. Whew. Going straight for the jugular there. That's an innocent bystander. This guy's an ass. Do yourself a favor and move on. Super quick before we get into this juicy update, 2 months later.
2 months later.
Number one, OP was judged not the a-hole. Number two, do we think there's going to be a breakup? Anthony Sam.
I feel like if she recognizes her self-worth, then potentially. But it also is like, we don't understand the whole context of the relationship. Maybe everything is great outside of this one thing, but if this is the embodiment of their relationship, and like she says they have a culture in the relationship of making fun of each other, it might just be that it's a little toxic too. And so if it's a little toxic and they're just kind of not, there's a culture of basically putting each other down for the things that they're genuinely interested in, that is not a relationship that you should be in unless there's serious work done.
Sir Anthony.
I want to know if these people are actually funny, because they're saying they're joking around, but like a good joke almost never like hurts any specific person's like feelings. It's like that's not a joke. That's just like you being insecure, Like a joke can lift people up, but also sort of nag somebody.
Because
so
if it's done, the presumption is if it's done the right way, everyone's laughing together.
Yeah, everybody. If everybody's not laughing, then it's not a good joke. Unless you're trying to be a controversial on a like stand-up comedy stage.
Be a better comedian.
I just don't think the jokiness justifies the hurt feelings.
I think I agree. But 2 months later, so a lot of people private messaged me and helped me work through everything regarding my now ex-boyfriend. Boom.
Good.
Done.
Good.
Benito, including being a shoulder to cry on when I realized it wasn't going to work out. And I guess I felt I owed them an update if they were interested, not to mention the great advice I received in the comments on the original post. I am deeply thankful for so many of them. A few in particular who disagreed with my take also helped me to see where he may have been coming from and helped me to figure out how I was going to talk to him about everything. So I did apologize for bringing it up publicly. I know that many people disagreed with me that I should, but personally, I've always been the type to want to handle any grievances I may have with a loved one privately. Literally exactly what Sam was saying earlier, rather than publicly. And I didn't like the fact that I allowed myself to break that rule around his friends, no less. He thanked me for that, but didn't really want to dig into why he felt the need to make a joke out of it. I asked if it was because I had been bringing up her/her music more than usual due to her being more active in the media currently, but he denied this. Still, I continue to press, explaining that we needed to move past this one way or another, because if he continued to mock/ridicule my interests, it was going to make me slowly resent him, something I really didn't want, but couldn't deny would happen if he continued to act like a bully. That's some direct communication.
Yeah.
We're getting to the root of it.
Boundaries.
Well, let's squeeze the teat of truth here from these boundaries. Eventually, after a lot of pressure, the teat of truth was squeezed raw. He explained that this had all started because he had complained to his friends privately about me last year during the lead up to her new album release. And they didn't like the fact that I was a fan of this artist and made some political assumptions about her based on her lyrical content from over 10 years ago. The plot is thickening.
I'm not a fan, but I'm going to analyze all of her songs in the last 10 years and see what her political affiliations might be.
They're putting together the Lana Del Rey exposed video, but just for the friend group.
They are.
Not even for clicks.
I feel like they're kind of fans in a way. They're just they're haters, but they are a fan of hating.
Jealousy is just love and hate at the same time.
Whoa.
Drake.
Whoa.
Don't quote me on that. Okay.
Well, too late.
Guys, I'm on Kendrick's side.
late.
Okay, let me be super clear. It is not like a summer, but anyway.
Whoa, that was a bar. Okay, John.
It's not mine.
Is that Darake?
It is being taken from currently the most alleged surface level rapper currently in the game, but I digress.
Darake?
Drake. Drakon. So they were talking about all of this based on her lyrical content from over 10 years ago, teasing the boyfriend for having a wannabe trad wife girlfriend, which I have also heard about Lana Del Rey.
What?
She has made some, I think, like even outside of the music, some like more like conservative, like traditional woman values or something along those lines.
Like what?
Like in the veins of like, oh, the woman should stay at home and like do that. Not like
in her songs?
not literally that, but kind of people thought she had that kind of vibe about her.
Oh,
That's what the people thought. I don't even know what it was about, but I have heard that sentiment about her music.
Women should stay at home while I make $1 million touring the country.
Yes.
And performing as an independent woman.
And people didn't like that.
That doesn't make sense to
It's kind of hypocritical.
glean. No, but I don't know if that's actually how she feels.
Yeah, I literally don't even know what it was they said that caused the sentiment. I only have heard that sentiment.
It could be she's like
John?
pandering. It could be like, you know how like country singers were like, I'm in the back of my truck and like trying to pander to a certain demographic that they are not a part of.
While they're driving a Lambo.
Yeah, while they're driving a Lambo.
Yeah.
It could be that. It could be just like totally pandering to garner a specific audience.
That's true, because I would say her general audience is not that, or at least it's
not
misalignment with what people expect, but I digress. They were teasing my boyfriend for having a wannabe trad wife girlfriend and other things that he was resentful of, including but not limited to asking if I had daddy issues or if I had a history of sleeping with older men. I am heavily sanitizing the language used because some of it, what was said, was disgusting. Honestly, I'm like, cut out the friends. That is a crazy assumption to make.
Well, they're her friends, right? Or no, they're his friends, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Are they her friends too?
Not sure.
Okay.
So basically, it boiled down to him trying to shame me into not liking the artist anymore so he wouldn't have to deal with his friends anymore rather than just shutting them down. Now I feel like we've finally arrived at the truth, which is whack. But I couldn't be in a relationship like that. I just couldn't. The fact that every time I had felt awful about myself and my interests for the past year and just thought I was being oversensitive to a joke, it was actually the point to make me feel bad. It destroyed any hope I had for the relationship. I won't lie, I've been pretty heartbroken. The breakup was shortly after the first post, and I've just gotten around to updating. So yeah, no big blowout with dramatics, no secret affair or anything. Just a man trying to make me feel small because he didn't know how to tell his friends to piss off. Boring, but depressing.
Aww.
AF.
I'm sorry, OP. That sucks. But also good.
Good for you.
Because you need to leave this guy.
Good for you.
Yeah, I think that was the move. The truth was exposed. And good on OP for continuing to drive down communication lane until she arrived at her destination.
Like, again, probably in writing this out, she realized how bad it was. Like, I love that that's kind of like what it takes to recognize you're in a bad situation.
Yes. And then the people's comments spurred her to have the conversation, and
cool.
that's what finally
I love it.
unlocked
I love
the
it.
truth. Riley, we have to stop the episode right now to talk about something.
Oh no.
There are 126,000 people that are starving for good content.
I know those people.
They're subscribed to our channel.
Yeah, those people.
However, tragically, they do not have a membership to see all of our members exclusive live stream.
Are you serious? So you're saying 126,000 people aren't seeing our members only content?
That's right, but there is a solution to cure this tragic plague.
Tell us, don't wait.
You can get our members only streams on Mondays and Fridays by becoming a member.
Yeah.
And join us during the episode recording stream where we record our episodes in advance and you get to be immortalized in the content. Just click the join button down here on the YouTube video or the link in the description. Let's get back to it.
My fiance stole my best friend's proposal idea, so I called him out on it. My boyfriend, 26 male, and I, 24 female, have been in a relationship for 2 years and just got engaged last week. The engagement itself was wonderful, but I couldn't help but notice how similar it was to a conversation I had with my best friend, 23 female, of over a decade. A conversation that happened many, many moons ago, in which she detailed exactly what she would do if she proposed to me, and it was very specific to my general likes and interests. And I mean specific. At the time, I told her that sounds perfect and hold on to that for later. It's pretty clear to me that he did approach her and she let him know about his plan. By the way, this comes from Lady Astrid in the r/OK Storytime subreddit. Submit your stories there. We're going to keep going to this story. So, after the day itself, I told my new fiance that it was cute that he asked her how I wanted to be proposed to, but I joked that he stole her entire, very detailed plan, so it was more her proposal than his. He went quiet and then got angry. Then it all came out.
Uh-oh.
So the friend was like, this is how I'm going to propose to you.
You gave me my bestie's proposal,
Yeah.
not your own proposal.
But I mean, if it's so good, if it sounds perfect,
How good was
if
it?
the shoe fits. He said that he always felt second place to my best friend, that I was only marrying him to satisfy my religious family, that I have been lying about my preferences, and that I'm probably having an affair with my friend. I was shocked. He's never expressed this to me before. Really quick.
That's a perfect time to just, release those thoughts. Not before.
Obviously, his response, not great.
No.
Not great.
No.
But question for you.
Yes.
If you proposed and did a bunch of research
Mm-hmm.
from like friends and family to see what would be the perfect proposal, and then after you propose, your girlfriend was like, that was more my friend's proposal than your proposal, how would you feel?
Terrible. Now, I feel like there's two very possible cases. There is one case where he did what you said, which is like he interviewed around, like asked all these people, and they're like, "Oh, we had this conversation, and like she literally broke it all down. I remember all the details. It'll be perfect because it's gonna be like what she's always dreamed. Like
Yeah.
it's like how little girls always have a dream wedding. It'll be kind of like that." And I also see another scenario where what if it was like, oh, make sure to play baby
Yeah.
oh, because that's her favorite song, and she's like, what is this, you were so lazy, you didn't actually
Do the research.
get my up-to-date version or something like that. I don't know.
Maybe this is controversial, but I think he is a way bigger red flag than her, but I think there's a little bit of a red flag in saying, like, this is my friend's proposal, not yours.
I think it depends on how she said that.
Yeah.
And yeah, the issue is the flare up. And also I'm curious about how long ago this conversation was.
It was 10 years ago. The conversation with her friend was 10 years ago. And I'm guessing that OP's boyfriend, like, asked her friends, and their friends like, oh, perfect, we had this conversation. This is exactly how she would want to get.
I'm sure he's
proposed
thinking,
to.
10 years ago. Or maybe he doesn't even know. Well, obviously, he probably doesn't know about the conversation that they had. And so he's like, oh, how do you think I should do it? And so the friend is probably like, oh, well, this is what you should do.
Yeah. I feel like it was probably I don't know. I feel like
It's not enough to get super upset about. It's just kind of like a bummer. It's like, oh, like this wasn't very personal. It could seem like a cop out from OP's perspective, but now it kind of brings up a huge, like, it's kind of good that she said that, because now it brings up all of this pent up aggression that I guess he was trying to hide.
Going from like, oh, you gave me the best friend's proposal to you're having an affair with the best friend.
Yeah.
What?
And to be clear, Duchess Cassandra says, you bring up another dude right after you're proposed to by your man's you. Her friend is a girl.
Yes.
So
Correct.
23 female.
Correct.
A dudette.
And what this guy is basically saying is, you haven't made your sexual preferences known to me. And he's basically, because he thinks that she's into her best friend.
Oh, man.
So let's
those.
keep going. I think that there's a lot of juice in here. So I think we're going to have some twists and turns on this. I was shocked. He's never expressed this to me before. He's complained in the past I spend too much time with her, so I accommodated for his needs as best I could without losing my best friend, but I had no idea he thinks I'm having an affair. I tried to reassure him, but I thought it would be better to leave and told him he would talk about it later. We haven't been in contact, and though I haven't told my best friend about this, others in my life think he was completely valid for blowing up, and I need to do all I can to fix this relationship. Was I an a-hole for making that joke? So I think yes, but he was way more the a-hole for his response.
What was the joke again?
Yeah, what joke? What
Okay,
joke
so the joke was, so he proposed, and it was basically this like very elaborate proposal, but it was a proposal that her friend and her had talked about 10 years ago. So basically her friend had a sit down conversation with her, with OP, and was like, if I was going to propose to you, this is what I would do. And like laid it all down. And then OP was like, that sounds perfect. Right. And then I'm guessing OP's boyfriend talked to her best friend and is like, hey, like, I need some advice on how you think like I should propose to her. You've known her for a long time. And she's like, oh, we actually had a conversation 10 years ago. This is how she would want to do it. He does this and recreates it. Then after he proposes, OP is like, hey, like, it's funny you did that, but you didn't really propose to me. My friend did.
Yeah.
That was the joke that she made.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I can understand that'd be tough to hear after you think you're doing something like, oh, like this is sweet. This is what she would have wanted. But you have an affair with your best friend. Like, whoa, where's that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That, I
Crazy.
think that is a crazy response and not a good response. But I could, like, let's say if he was just like, oh, like, sorry, I was just trying to do something that was like thoughtful, and I talked to your friend about it. If that was his response and not the terrible thing, then she would have been the a-hole.
Yeah.
She would have been the
that's
a-hole.
a good point.
But because of how terrible his response is and how like insecure it shows that him being, both of them are the a-hole, and his a-holery far exceeds hers.
He over a-holed her.
He out a-holed her. But let's get into the relevant comments.
Let's do it.
So Kidden1412 says, info. So when you asked your best friend to hold onto her proposal idea for later, what were you expecting her to do besides hand it over to your boyfriend?
Oh.
Because, and another thing, they wrote this all out, and she's like, hold it on for later. When you heard the idea, you were telling her that you wanted her to suggest it to a boyfriend? No? Like, no? Is that not what you wanted?
Yeah.
And if not, what did you want her to hold on to it for? What did you expect out of this situation? OP responds, just going to reply with a little more context. When I said hold it on till later, I meant that if I were to meet someone and they asked her for advice about how they could propose, they could use that. At the time, I had met my fiance, and I had not met my fiance, and we were teenagers.
So was it kind of what I was saying of like, oh, maybe it's like a really outdated thing and it feels like kind of like lazy or not what you wanted?
But potentially it's outdated, but the joke that she made wasn't that it was outdated. It was that basically her friend proposed to her and not you.
Yeah. He's like, well, you love her so much you have an affair with her.
Yeah. I think
I agree with this comment. But what happens after is different.
Yeah. I think if he responded in a different way, she would have been like only the a-hole, because how they responded, he's more of the a-hole. And
I also feel like that's not necessarily something you bring up with the person who proposes to you. Like, you tell somebody like the fact that you think it was her idea. Like, I feel like you tell your best friend that, or you tell your mom that, or you tell. But like, if you like this person enough to get married, you don't like, man, well, I didn't like your proposal.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I think there's a weirdness to it. I don't think he's having a fair little sillies fangirl.
I think he is.
But like, we're gonna read some more.
Okay.
We're gonna read some more. Yeah, Dixie Blue Seal says, so she literally said what she wanted to happen. I'm confused by the whole thing.
Yeah.
She I don't know. I feel like I feel like he was trying to do something cute, and she kind of like pooped on him a little bit for it, and then he had a terrible reaction. But
I want to hear more.
Let's hear more. So, verdict from Reddit is a-hole.
Ooh.
Everyone thought a-hole. And the update. I would like to start by saying thank you to everyone who responded to this post. It put things into a better perspective for me. I apologize to my partner, not just for the joke, but for making him feel the way I did. I keep receiving messages asking for updates, so I just wanted to hop on and clarify a few things that I didn't want to talk about before. I was asked about my orientation. I identify as asexual, and my partner is straight. We had a great low intimacy relationship. I stayed loyal throughout our relationship. We discussed how this was going to work at length when we were first together and often talked about boundaries, so I didn't think this was a big problem. Turns out it was. Someone found this post and sent it to him. He found it funny enough to show to our mutual friends, but in doing that, he accidentally showed his own Reddit account.
Ooh.
After some digging, they saw he had a very different set of views to what I previously thought, and was involved in quite a few incelish posts in different communities. Apparently, he had suspicions for a while that I had been lying to him about my preferences and I was a lesbian, but he thought I would change my mind over time. This came as a total shock to me. A lot of people showed confusion over his behavior, including me. And now this information has come out. It makes more sense that he was letting go of grievances he had been holding on to for a while. Needless to say, our relationship is done, which is the right decision.
Yeah.
Wow.
I gave the ring back and offered to pay for the cost of the proposal, which he declined. I think it's ultimately for the best. And to you, because I'm sure you're going to read this, thank you for everything. I hope that we can both learn and grow from this separately. And I wish you all the best. There's a little bit more juice to squeeze. But also, you can join us live every weekday at 3 p.m. PST on YouTube. So come on over here. Before we end this really quick, I got like a couple more paragraphs. But with something that's like kind of weird about this story is if she wasn't a little bit of the a-hole, she may have gotten married to him. She may have never found out how terrible his beliefs were.
So we all learned, be an a-hole to your partner, and you will be better off for it.
When it counts the most,
When
be
it
the
counts the
a-hole.
most.
That's right. Lay that a-hole down on the line.
This man is so stinky. But she like if she didn't say that like kind of a-holey thing, she would have never known.
Yeah. And you know, it kind of all makes sense because it kind of gives like the nice guy vibe of like, okay, like let me do all these things for her. And it's like, oh man, all women just hate the nice guys doing all this stuff. Which like, and also in total fairness, like I am more and more on the side of like I think that was like really, really not a cool move of her. Like after he, did all the work.
Yeah,
for the proposal,
I still don't think it was a good move of her. Like it was an a-hole move. Actually, no, I'm not gonna take it back. It was a great move of her, but it was an a-hole move.
Yeah, it was an unintentionally great move, but an a-hole move for sure. Wow.
But we have a couple more paragraphs.
Okay.
So, as for whether I'm going to dramatically elope with my best friend, I doubt it. We're like sisters. She's been happily married to a lovely man for the last 3 years. We're just close, I guess. Anyway, thank you all again for your sometimes brutal honesty in this. All in all, things worked out for the best. And that is where this story and this episode ends.
Over.
Yeah.
Dunzo. Get out of here.
So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you.
And see you tomorrow.